There comes a time in your life when you've got to stand alone. No applause, no handouts, no support. Just you versus everything that told you you're not enough. And in that silence, when no one is watching, no one is clapping, no one gives a damn, that's when you become a one-man army. This is about embracing pain, finding power in isolation, and becoming the hardest person alive. Mentally, physically, spiritually. This ain't about waiting for backup. This is about becoming your own backup. Isolation builds domination. You want to dominate, then get used to walking alone. People crave comfort. They chase attention. They need the applause, the high fives, the validation. That's why most of them stay average. Because they're addicted to being liked, to feeling accepted. But real growth, real strength, it comes when you're alone in the trenches. No spotlight, no likes, just silence. And that silence will scream at you. It'll force you to either face who you really are or run back to comfort. You want to be a machine, then start by cutting the damn noise. Friends won't always show up. Family won't always believe in you. Coaches, bosses, mentors, they'll come and go. At the end of the day, it's just you and your shadow staring back asking, did you give everything today? Isolation is where you earn your power. That's where you do the ugly work. That's where you train when no one's watching, grind when everyone else sleeps, and bleed without anyone there to clap. That's not weakness, that's domination. People think solitude means weakness. Nah. Weak is depending on someone to drag you to the gym. Weak is needing someone to text you reminders to get up early. Weak is not being able to push unless someone's watching. But when you're a one-man army, that mindset flips. You don't need an army behind you. You are the damn army. You don't train for applause, you train for war. You build for the chaos. You sharpen the blade alone, so when the battlefield shows up, you don't flinch. You lead. Let me tell you something. Loneliness isn't punishment. It's preparation. While everyone's out partying, you're on your third workout. While they sleep in, you're under cold steel, lifting the weight of discipline. You build something in isolation that crowds will never understand. They won't get it, and they're not supposed to. Your mission isn't about being understood. It's about being unshakable. Do you know why wolves are feared? Because they're lethal when they're alone. You need to adopt that energy, become dangerous in solitude. Learn how to suffer without a shoulder. Learn how to grow without applause. Learn how to push without a voice telling you good job. Because when you break yourself down alone, you're untouchable in the presence of others. That's how you dominate. Don't seek comfort. Don't seek connection when you're supposed to be constructing yourself. That isolation you feel, that's the call to level up. It's the grind speaking to you. Stop looking for people to relate to your pain. Most haven't even scratched their surface. You've got to be the one who leans into that burn and says, this is where I live now. Every rep, every mile, every sleepless night. That's your edge. You don't win by being surrounded. You win by standing alone in the fire until the fire respects you. Until your mind gets so calloused, so focused, so locked in, that nothing outside of you matters anymore. That's where legends are born. That's where warriors are made. So if you're alone right now, good, embrace it. You're in the factory, the forge. This is the season where no one claps, but you still get up. No one believes, but you keep moving. No one's watching, but you give 120% anyway. You're not losing, you're loading. And when the world finally sees what you built in the dark, they'll call it overnight success. But you'll know better. You'll know about the nights you cried but kept going. The mornings you didn't want to get out of bed but still ran until your lungs burned. The meals you skipped, the birthdays you missed, the comfort you sacrificed. All for this. Isolation isn't a weakness. It's the birthplace of domination. Become your own savior. Become your OWN savior. Nobody's coming to save you. Let that hit hard, because once you accept it, truly accept it, you take back all your power. Every excuse, every blame, every soft whisper that says it's someone else's fault gets silenced. There is no cavalry, no miracle, no mentor who's going to swoop in and make your problems vanish. It's just you. So what are you going to do about it? This is the moment where weak minds break. They panic. They curl up and wait for rescue, but warriors, they rise, they take the pain, and they make it their blueprint. They stop crying for saviors and become their own. You've been hurt. Welcome to the damn club. Life doesn't owe you sympathy. You've been abandoned, betrayed, lied to. Good. That pain, that's your forge. That's where you build the unbreakable version of yourself. but only if you stop running from it and start owning it. The world doesn't care about your story until you write your comeback. Stop waiting for someone to fix you. You're not broken, you're untested, you're undisciplined. You've let life pile weight on your shoulders without learning how to carry it. But you can learn. You can become the kind of person who no longer asks for help, but offers it because you've fought through so much hell that you're now equipped to drag others out too. But first, you've got to become your own hero. That means waking up with no motivation and still going. That means training when your legs feel like bricks. That means studying when your brain is fogged, showing up when your spirit's heavy, and grinding when nobody sees the effort. Nobody, that's how you become a one-man army. You stop outsourcing your potential and start executing relentlessly. Your past doesn't matter anymore, your mistakes, lessons, every scar on your body and mind. Proof you survived, but surviving isn't enough. You were built to lead, to overcome, to destroy every limitation you've ever let leave rent free in your head. You have to dig deep, so deep you scare yourself. Get in that mirror and stare until the truth hurts. The man you are today is not enough, but the man you can become, that's someone who changes the world. That's someone who doesn't quit when things get hard. He gets harder. That's someone who doesn't ask for pity. He demands progress, and he gets it because he refuses to be saved. He saves himself. People will doubt you. Let them. They'll say you're crazy. Good. Let them talk while you work. While they're watching Netflix, you're building a legacy. While they're blaming the system, you're breaking it. While they're praying for easy, you're training for war. That's the separation. That's the mindset that can't be touched. And yeah, it's lonely, damn right it is, but the path to greatness isn't paved with praise, it's built with sacrifice. You sacrifice comfort, you sacrifice validation, you sacrifice the soft life for the hard truth. That no matter what's been done to you, your next move is still your choice. That's where real power lies, not in complaining, not in wishing, in deciding. So decide today. Decide that you don't need a rescue mission. You are the mission. Decide that you will bleed, crawl, sweat, and grind your way to the life you were meant to build. Not because someone believes in you, but because you refuse to live any other way. Be the man who runs into the fire because he knows it's the only way out. Be the man who sharpens himself with every loss, who walks alone not because he has no friends, but because he doesn't need permission to go where others are too afraid to follow. Be your own savior. No one's coming. Good. That means everything you build from this point forward is yours. Your blood, your pain, your battle, your victory. Discipline over dependence. Discipline over dependence. It shows up when it feels like it. It comes on the days you're already fired up. But when life punches you in the mouth, when your back's against the wall and your body is screaming to quit, motivation goes silent. That's when the quitters tap out. That's when the dreamers stop dreaming, but the one-man army, he keeps going. Why? Because he doesn't depend on feelings. He lives on discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't want to do it. It's waking up early when your body begs for sleep. It's hitting that workout when you're sore, tired, and mentally drained. It's sticking to your plan even when your mind starts whispering, "You've done enough." Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it commands you to execute. People love the idea of transformation. They talk big. They say, "I want to change my life." But when it's time to put in the reps, when it's time to sacrifice, to suffer, to grind, suddenly they vanish. Why? Because they were motivated, not disciplined, and that's why they'll stay average forever. You don't need a hype song. You don't need a motivational video. You need a promise to yourself that you will not negotiate with weakness. Ever, you wake up, you move, you train, you work, because it's who you are, not because it feels good. Discipline makes you dangerous because it doesn't rely on ideal conditions. It doesn't care if it's raining, if your knees hurt, if you're broke, if people laughed at you. Discipline shows up through pain, through heartbreak, through exhaustion. It's the voice that says, "I don't care how you feel. This has to get done." Do you think elite performers wake up excited every day? Hell no, but they're locked in. They've killed the part of themselves that looks for excuses. They don't care what the weather is. They don't care who shows up. They just execute, because they've trained their minds to obey, not negotiate. Look at your life right now. Where are you soft? Where are you waiting on a perfect moment to act? Where are you depending on people, on luck, on inspiration to move? That's where you need to inject discipline like a straight shot to the bloodstream. You build it by doing the hard thing over and over until it becomes your baseline, until quitting doesn't even cross your mind because you've trained it out of you. People say they're tired, good, that's the signal to keep going. People say, I'm sore, so what, keep moving. People say, I don't feel like it today. Feelings don't matter, the mission does. The enemy doesn't care how tired you are. Life doesn't pause because you need a break. The man who wins is the man who shows up broken, beaten, and still swings the hammer. You want to change your life, stop depending on anyone or anything to get you there. Depend on your discipline, your routine, your relentless commitment to show up when everything in you wants to stop. That's your foundation, that's your freedom. When you live this way, you become a different breed. You become the kind of person who terrifies the weak because they see in you what they refuse to build in themselves. You become a silent killer, a consistent machine, and that consistency it stacks day by day, rep by rep, battle by battle, until one day everyone who doubted you wonders how the hell you did it, and you'll know you out-disciplined them. That's it. So from now on, stop seeking permission. Stop checking your energy. Stop waiting to feel ready. Be the one who doesn't flinch. Be the one who doesn't need the crowd. Be the one who gets it done regardless. Discipline over dependence. Every damn time. Hard times create hard men. Hard times create hard men. Life is not fair. Good. That's the point. Too many people whine when it gets hard. They scream, why me? They tap out when it gets heavy. But the ones who rise, the few who break the cycle and become monsters in their own right, they know the truth. Hard times aren't the enemy. They're the forge. They don't destroy you. They reveal you. You want to be strong. Then stop begging for an easy life. Pray for strength to endure a hard one, because it's the struggle that sharpens your mind. It's the pain that strengthens your resolve. It's the darkness that makes your fire burn hotter. You've been through hell, good. That means you're still standing. That means you didn't break. That means life hit you with everything it had and you're still here. That's not weakness. That's your edge. Weak men are built in comfort. They live soft, act soft, and fall apart the moment adversity shows up. They can't handle pressure because they've never carried weight. They want applause without pain, success without sacrifice, greatness without war. But real warriors, real one, man armies, they are built in the fire. They're hardened in the chaos. They don't just survive hard times. They become something different because of them. Every setback you faced, every time you were broken, every time you were betrayed, left behind, counted out. It was training. Life was shaping you, pounding you, tempering you. You didn't ask for it, but you needed it. Because without it, you'd still be soft. You'd still be living in illusions. Now, you're awake. You want to talk about pressure? Good. Pressure is the privilege of those meant to lead. The higher the weight, the deeper the call. If you've got problems, pain, loss, failure, good, that means there's work to do. That means there's a version of you waiting on the other side of that fire who's hungrier, harder, smarter, and more lethal than you've ever known. But you don't get there by wishing. You get there by bleeding. You've got to get to a point where you're not afraid of pain anymore. You welcome it. You lean into the suck. You stop flinching when it gets hard and start smiling, because you know the storm is here to mold you into steel. Every tear, every bruise, every scar, they're not signs of weakness. They're your badges. They're proof you showed up when most people would have folded. You want to lead, then suffer more. Want to be elite? Go through more hell. Want to be unbreakable, then get broken 100 times and rebuild yourself stronger each time. That's the price. That's the toll. No shortcuts, no pity, just reps in the pain chamber. And when people look at you and say, you've changed, good, that means the soft version of you is dead. The one who used to make excuses, who used to wait for better circumstances, who used to fold under pressure, that guy's gone. Now you're forged in grit. Now you're built to lead men into hell and come back with scars and victory. So when life gets harder, don't run, don't hide, dig in, embrace it. Say to yourself, this is the part where most people give up, but not me. Because every hard time is an opportunity to stack mental armor, to develop a mindset that doesn't just survive, but dominates, that doesn't ask for peace, but trains for war. Hard times create hard men. Not overnight, but through every test you don't skip, through every tear you don't waste, through every fight you don't avoid. You want strength, then suffer now so you never suffer again. Build it now, so when life throws its next punch, you don't just eat it. You smile and say, that all you got? Pain's not permanent, but strength is, and you only earn it one way, by going through more than most people are willing to face, and standing taller because of it. Unbreakable mindset, unstoppable life, everything you want. Every battle you'll fight, every mountain you'll climb, it all starts with your mindset. The body breaks, the world falls apart, but the mind, if you train it right, it becomes unbreakable. People out here chasing hacks, looking for shortcuts, trying to find the easy path to success, but there is no easy path. There is only one truth. Your mind decides everything. If your mind is weak, you're weak. Doesn't matter how much you lift, how fast you run, or how much talent you've got. When life starts squeezing, you'll crack. You'll fold under pressure, tap out under pain, and make excuses when it gets uncomfortable. But when your mind is forged in fire, when you've killed the part of you that looks for an exit, you become a weapon, not just against the world, but against your own weakness. That's the game. You don't win with luck. You don't win with comfort. You win because you've trained yourself to keep going when nothing makes sense, when everything hurts, and when everyone says it's over. An unbreakable mindset means you don't rely on circumstances. It means you don't care how tired you are, how far you've got to go, how many people said no, or how many times you failed. You stay locked in. You stay on mission because your brain has one gear, forward. You build that mindset in the dark, in silence, in pain, in loneliness. You build it on the days when motivation dies and the only voice that matters is the one inside that says, get up. You don't get that from books. You don't get that from videos. You earn it with sweat, with discipline, with hours spent grinding when your heart says stop. That's the price, and most people aren't willing to pay it. That's why they stay average. That's why they quit, because their mind was never trained to endure. You want to be unstoppable, then train your mind like a weapon, daily, relentlessly. When it says, I'm tired, respond with action. When it screams, this hurts, you go harder. When it whispers, maybe this isn't for you, you say, shut the hell up, I'm built for this. Let me be real. Life is going to test you, not once, not twice. Constantly, it's going to hit your body, your soul, your heart, your dreams, and when it does, all that's left is your mental fortitude. That's your armor, that's your shield. If it's weak, you fall. If it's strong, you rise. And once your mind is unbreakable, nothing can stop you. Not pain, not rejection, not failure, not betrayal, because you've already suffered. You've already died and come back a different beast. You don't flinch anymore. You don't break, you bend life to your will. You stop waiting for things to get easier. You become tougher. You stop asking for less pressure. You become stronger. You stop looking for rescue. You become the storm. And when people ask how you did it, when they ask why you never quit, why you're still standing after everything that should have ended you, you just smile, because the real ones know it was never talent, never luck. It was the mindset, the unbreakable, unstoppable, no quit, no excuse, I'll die before I give up mindset. That's the power, that's the edge. The world is full of men who break under pressure, who whine under struggle, who collapse under failure. But you become different. You train your mind until it bows to your command, until fear doesn't drive you, discipline does, until pain doesn't paralyze you, it sharpens you, until failure doesn't end you, it fuels you. Because the man with the unbreakable mind is a man that nothing and no one can stop. No matter how long the road, how steep the climb, how loud the doubts, he moves forward. Day by day, brick by brick, fight by fight, and in the end, he doesn't just survive, he doesn't just win, he becomes unstoppable. Here's the conclusion to the one-man army, speech delivered with raw fire, grit, and finality. One man. One war, one victory, now you know the truth. Nobody is coming, no applause, no handouts, no shortcuts, just war, every single day. And if you've got what it takes to face it alone, then you're already miles ahead of the pack. The world's going soft, People breaking down over inconvenience, drowning in their comfort zones, chasing validation like oxygen. But not you. You chose pain over pity, discipline over dependence. You didn't wait to be saved. You became your own savior. And in the furnace of hard times, you forged something this world fears, a man who doesn't quit. You stood up when everything in you screamed to sit down. You kept pushing when your mind begged you to stop. You chose to carry your weight when others dropped theirs. You didn't run from the fire. You walked into it and came out steel. That's what this speech was about, not hype, not motivation, but awakening. A challenge to every man walking this earth pretending to be strong. A call to kill the weakness, bury the excuses, and rise up as something unbreakable. Because when all is said and done, you don't need a crowd. You don't need cheers. You don't even need a damn teammate. You need grit. You need will. You need fire. You need to become a one-man army. So from this day forward, no more apologies, no more half-effort. No more shrinking to fit into a world that fears power. You walk alone, you fight alone, you build alone, and when the dust settles, the pain fades, and the cowards have all disappeared. You'll still be standing. Bleeding maybe, bruised for sure, but undefeated, because you never needed a battalion to win the war. You just needed yourself, one man, one mission, one unstoppable force.